kind of machines do you think the most efficient on off-road? 4-wheel drive vehicle, ATV or maybe a quad? But there are some places and conditions where all these machines will not be able to compete with our today's hero. The machine I am talking about has been created for about 5 years, but now it's released. And we are ready to make a full review of the newest Moto ATV Taurus 2-wheel drive. Let's go! Hello guys, as usual it's me, just an off-screen voice, and you are watching Review Machines. As I've said, today we will review the newest Moto ATV Taurus. They have started to produce it this year, but this ATV has already been highly appreciated in many countries. Why has it become so popular overnight? There are several reasons. Firstly, of course, it's full-wheel drive. As you know, we seldom see this feature in motorcycles. Then it can very easily and quickly be disassembled and put into a trunk of the car, for example. And the most interesting thing, this ATV weighs so little. Its weight is only 90 kilos. And this lightness, together with full-wheel drive and big low-pressure wheels, can show us the incredible off-road performance. Well, let's see if it's really so. First of all, let's have a look at some technical details. The engine is Chinese Lifan 7HP, or it may be changed for Honda GX. Such engines are used in many kinds of outdoor power equipment, and they prove to be quite simple and reliable. The wheels are driven by the chain drive. Firstly it was used a belt drive, but it couldn't sustain any hard off-road. The steering is the simplest, there are only two handles, throttle and brakes. The fuel tank is made of plastic. It weighs less than a steel one. The seat is equipped with spring suspension for more comfort. And big wheels have a low pressure to provide better off-road performance. In this way, we can consider this ATV as one of the most efficient motorcycles on off-road. Moreover, it's quite affordable. Its price is about $2,000. For $2,000 we can get a machine that can be easily disassembled and put into a trunk, taken by car to a proper place, assembled for a few minutes, and then you are ready to go everywhere you want. It may be a distant lake in wild woods, or some place for hunting. To disassemble the ATV you are just to turn off one bolt. Rear and front trunks are also quick detachable, so the whole dismantled construction takes so little space, and you don't need any trailer to transport this ATV. This feature is a great advantage, because if you own for example a quad or sled, you need to buy an expensive trailer, register it and find additional space to store it. When I saw Taurus for the first time, I strained at the leash to try it. And now I'd like to share my first impressions with you. First of all, it's quite comfortable. But of course sometimes I felt that there was no suspension system. On hammocks it was rather tough, but thanks to the big low pressure wheels and springs under the seat, it was not so tough as it should be without suspension. Nevertheless, you should know that it's hardly possible to ride this moto for the long distance. The range of your trip shouldn't be more than 30 miles, otherwise you might be sick and tired of such riding. Then I should say it's very interesting to ride the full-wheel drive moto. It seemed to me that I was able to cut my way through any off-road obstacles. It's worth saying that full-wheel drive system worked quite well, but the chain once jumped off from the sprocket, and it took some time to get it back. For the hard off-road test, we chose the toughest route we could find. It's half-mounted ice on a lake. It was loose, so it was dangerous to move there, but our machine managed to overcome these ice traps quite efficiently. I think either a quad or any 4-wheel drive vehicle can't move there. But Taurus is able to go on such hard off-road due to the very lightweight, 4-wheel drive and big low-pressure wheels. Anyway, do not repeat such thing on a melted ice. We knew for sure that it was no dip there, that is why we decided to make a test on the ice. By the way, the people related to the manufacturer stated that some negotiations were being held to sell these moto ATVs to some military services. And I think if this machine stands the test of time and prove its reliability, it will have all the chances to be relevant in military operations. Now we are moving to the nearest forest to try our bike there, and I think forest is the place where the machine can do best of all. All quads, ATVs, side-by-sides and other big machines can hardly cut their way through the woods. In this way, Moto ATV is the only vehicle that can move in such conditions. Of course, I can't say that it's comfortable ride, and if the forest is too thick, even Moto ATV will get stuck there. But anyway, it's better to ride uncomfortably than walk in comfort. All the advantages of Taurus are indispensable in the woods. Firstly, it's little weight, it's only 90 kilos. If necessary, it's always possible to drag your motor through an obstacle. Then the torque is good enough to move slowly. As you know, it's impossible to move fast in the forest. Then a big clearance also do a lot of good, and you may roll over fallen trees. And finally, it's a low frame. This feature allows you to balance on the bike with your legs when you are moving in the hardest conditions. Yes, if you want to buy a Moto ATV, be ready to help the vehicle to cut its way with your legs. But again, I think any Moto ATV is the only kind of transport that can move somehow through the forest. Well, it's high time to sum up our review. First of all, I want to say a few words about the disadvantages of the machine. You should know that the ride in this bike takes some physical efforts. You have to help the machine to overcome obstacles, and this fact may be considered as a drawback. Then it doesn't have a real suspension, so be ready for the tough rides. Then sometimes the engine seems to be short of power, and it can stop in the most inappropriate moment. But nevertheless, it's a fantastic machine. It's so light and compact. It can overcome toughest off-road, and after all, it's so fun to ride this Moto ATV. Well, let's call it a day. Thanks for watching, guys. Please consider subscribing if you like this video. It will be many more interesting materials here. Goodbye.